Welcome, all of you wonderful staff members, to our heart-to-heart leader chat. And the topic we're going to be covering today is flag etiquette. And right here with me I have Joanne Germinder. She's a facilitator for Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan. So Joanne, you want to say hello?
Hello. Hey everybody.
Okay, so today we're going to be covering where to find United States flag resources. We are going to cover flag ceremonies, when to hold them, and how to introduce them to girls, and the types of flag ceremonies that we have.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is where do you find U.S. flag resources? Where is the official guidance on the U.S. flag? And if there's two links on this slide, the first one will take you to the official government site, and in there it gives you all of the where-tos and what you can do, what you shouldn't do, and all that. And the second one it's a little bit more user-friendly than the actual report.
To go through some pages.
We can just scroll down. So basically in here it will give you all of the details that have been approved by Congress and all the official ones. This one hasn't been updated since 2008. However, there's things that do change in this. For instance, when I was a Girl Scout, there was, if it was up on a platform, it had these rules it followed. If it was on the same level as the audience, it followed these rules. And those things have changed now in this one too. So just be aware that sometimes if you find that you're arguing with somebody over the correct procedure for flags because you were taught one way, it may have changed, and this would be the place to go to actually find the most current official rules. But if you're working with your girls or your troop or a group of girls to do a flag ceremony, this other website gives you a lot. It's more user-friendly. It gives you the history of the flag. It gives you all sorts of different writings and links that the girls can use to start preparing their own flag ceremony.
Okay, so some of the information that we pulled out here was actually from one of the links from the second one, right? And we'll just give you a couple minutes to read through them, and then we're going to talk about one of these bullet points. So I think everybody probably finished reading all that, and we're wondering if there are any of these topics that stand out to you, or do you have any questions about any of them?
Let's look at the second one. Is there anything you find interesting about the second one in particular? Has anyone ever noticed that when the president speaks, you have a whole row of flags behind him, which could be interpreted as being used for decoration? And basically, just want to point out that even though this is the standard of respect, there's no flag police that are out there necessarily. So when you're working with the girls, make sure they realize that just because they learn that you're not supposed to use them for decoration doesn't mean that they need to go out there and start being little flag generals and getting into arguments with other people about that.
Well, we'll move to some more standards of respect here. And again, I'll give you a couple minutes to read about these, and then we'll talk a little more in depth about them.
And these are on that second website too, so you can always go back and review them there.
Okay, well, from this slide here, we wanted to point out, for instance, the bullet point number 4, 5, and 6. I mean, they're all obviously very important, and number 7 as well too. But we were talking about the flag not being used as part of a costume or athletic uniform, and Joanne and I were talking about the Olympics right now, and talking how some of the athletes at times put their flags around their backs, sort of like a little cape. And again, these are just standards of respect. It's not that the Girl Scout, or not the flag police or whoever is going to go and tell them not to do that, but there are codes of respect that we'd like to follow and we'd like to teach everybody.
Also, at number 4, when it talks about the flag patch may be worn on uniforms, we do have the U.S. flag patch that the girls can wear on their Girl Scout uniform now too. But we fall into the patriotic organizations, but also that flag, I'm almost sure that it wasn't available for uniforms until after September 11th too. So that might be something that you want to let the leaders and let the girls know too, that that flag patch hasn't always been available. And then number 5, the flag should never have anything placed on it. And number 6, shouldn't be used for holding or carrying anything. And then number 7 is one that if the girls know anything about flags, they usually know that the flag shouldn't touch the ground. And they think that if it does touch the ground, the flag needs to be destroyed. And that's not necessarily true. If it falls into number 9, where if the flag is so worn that it can't represent our country, that's the time when it is destroyed by fire, not just because it touched the ground.
Does anybody have any questions about any of these, or anything you'd like to point out?
Joanne?
Yes?
Number 9.
Yeah.
Well, we can't burn the nylon anymore, can we?
The nylon ones will give off a toxic odor, and there is a proper way of destroying those, but for all intents and purposes, if you're working with the girls, you shouldn't burn the nylon flags. We should collect those, and you take them to the American Legion. They have the proper way of incinerating them correctly.
Renee, did you have any other comments? Or?
No, it was just a question of what other type of flag besides nylon.
Cotton. The cotton flags are the best ones. But you can use your own judgment too. I mean, whenever possible, obviously you want to stay away from them. Okay, so we're talking about flag ceremonies. When do you hold them, and how do you introduce them to girls? A flag ceremony can be as simple as a Daisy Girl Scout holding a flag and the girls saying the Pledge of Allegiance and the promise, or it can be very formalized depending on what your activity or what your program dictates. But there's, troop meetings are always a good place to start opening flag ceremonies because it gives girls lots of chances to practice. Opening and closing. City commissioner meetings, lots of times they are looking for groups that will come and do a flag ceremony, especially with Girl Scout Week coming up. They try to, if your city gives a proclamation, it's always nice to have a troop come and do the opening flag ceremony for the city commissioner meeting and then receive the proclamation. There's basically it can be whenever the girls want to have the flag ceremony. It's really up to the girls. And you can introduce flag ceremonies to girls as young as daisies or as old as ambassadors. And there's a multitude of different types of flag ceremonies, so depending on what the girls' interest is and how elaborate they want to make them. I've seen flag ceremonies where they had shooting stars coming off the tops of the flags and streamers and all sorts of things, So as long as it's respectful, and that's the main thing. And if you're looking for flag ceremonies, the internet and Google is wonderful. There's YouTubes out there of different groups doing different ceremonies. There's all sorts of, there's a flashlight ceremony, and the handout that we're sending you will have some of those in it too. So.
After the webinar, we'll send you a handout with all of this information as well.
And this one, it's like, it was actually done by another council.
I'm going to show you a little bit of it. I think we can then send you the link afterwards. It's about
7 minutes long, so we probably aren't going to watch the whole thing.
Out-of-doors flag ceremony. Outdoor flag ceremonies are an important aspect of the camping experience. The color guard consists of the flag bearer, who holds the flag, and 2, 4, or more guards depending on the size of the flag and the number of people needed to handle and fold it. The most important part of the ceremony is the raising and lowering of the flag. Other features of the ceremony, such as songs, the Pledge of Allegiance, or poems, are recited or sung after the flag has been raised or before it is lowered. The flag should be raised briskly and lowered ceremoniously. The girls are led in silence by the caller to form a horseshoe around the flagpole. They stand silently at attention. An alternative way with a larger group of girls is to have 2 lines. The girls are led in from opposite sides to form a horseshoe. The caller follows these commands.
Girl Scout attention. Color Guard attention. Color Guard advance.
The color guard comes forward. The flag bearer hands the flag to the first set of color guards and prepares the flagpole rope. The first grommet is attached to the stars portion. As the flag is raised up to reach the second grommet, the color guard unfolds and supports the flag while the flag bearer attaches the second grommet.
Okay, well, it is like we mentioned, a very very clear, very detailed video that we'll send you all the link later to complete, to finish watching it if you'd like to. It's, like Joanne said, about 7 minutes long, so we showed about 2 minutes of it. They talk about what you do when the flag needs to be half mast or half staff, and what to do during that time as well.
Next thing we want to talk about is some of the flag programs that Heart of Michigan has available for our girls and our troops. And the Mackinac Island Governor's Honor Guard is one of them for the older girls. And this is an individual program that the girls apply for. And if they're selected, they get to go and spend a week on Mackinac Island putting the flags up and acting as tour guides for the different buildings. And we have 2 troops in Heart of Michigan, which is very cool. Mackinac Island is a service camp, so only Michigan Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are the only ones who are allowed to apply for this opportunity. So it's a very unique thing that only Michigan girls can apply for. My daughter went for 4 years and absolutely loved it. It was always interesting that when she would come home, on the way home, she was dead tired. She wasn't going to apply the next year, but she was probably one of the first ones to apply as soon as the application came out the next year. So it's a really great opportunity for the girls. And they meet girls from all over the council and get to know each other. So it's a really great leadership opportunity for the girls. Any questions about that? And it's usually, I think it's starting 7th grade, isn't it? Or is it
6 and up?
6 and, okay, 6 and up. And also, if any of your girls apply and they don't get selected for the first year, make sure they encourage them to reapply the next year, because there's only so many slots. And as seniors graduate, that's usually how slots come open for it.
I wanted to show you real quick that in our website we have great information as well, and awesome videos. There's two videos that I'm not sure who was in charge of doing those, but we're not gonna show them right now. But there's the information of Mackinac Island Honor Guard is over here on our website. All the applications as well are here. And like I said, and also those 2 videos, and both of them are very worth looking at, actually, if you also have a little bit of time. So I know that they have mandatory days, all of them, like to attend training, planning. I can't remember which troop already has the deadline or is coming soon to a deadline, but the other one is going to be for June of 2015. So I know the application is going to be coming up, I believe, in November or so. So, any questions about that?
Well, and then the service week is August 9th through the 16th. Is that the only one?
For, no, for Troop
Oh, just
609
one,
only,
okay.
right. We
Okay.
only put, we only were talking about some mandatory dates for one troop.
And if you have girls that are younger than that age, and you're looking for a fun summer trip, you can always go up the week that the girls are on the island, and then they get to see the girls, and they get to tour a little bit of the Scout barracks.
One of the other programs that we have at Heart of Michigan is Raise Our Flag. This is a program that we started in 2012 to raise funds for an outdoor flag display at the Kalamazoo Regional Center to honor Sylvia Nicholas. Sylvia was a lifetime member of Girl Scouts, a member of Post 475, and she was a member of the Kalamazoo facilitator team forever. She passed away in August of 2012, and we felt the best way to honor Sylvia was to put up a flag display here in our office in Kalamazoo. And fortunately, we already have flagpoles, we already have flags, we already have lights, so we don't have to lower the flags each night. At the beginning, a group of us here in Kalamazoo would raise the flags in the morning, and then again in the afternoon would go over and lower them. And pretty valuable experience, I would say, for a couple of staff members here in Kalamazoo. They learned lots of those flag etiquette standards that you learned a little bit earlier, not to obviously let the flag touch the ground, how to fold the flag. But now that we have lights here in the Kalamazoo region, we do not have to lower the flags or in the evening. So the proceeds from the program, for the Raise Our Flag program, which we have a fee of $6, I think 4 of that fee goes to Sylvia Nicholas display, memorial display. The girls get a patch also on that day, and they learn how to do indoor and outdoor flag ceremonies, how to retire a flag, how to fold one, and they also do very cool service project as well during that time. We are hoping to keep raising funds to go to a general account and be able to purchase flags for the rest of Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan, and or to put flag poles where they are needed. Right before we started this webinar, we briefly talked to Matt and asked him how many flag poles were in our council, and we kind of had to put some numbers together and see how many flag poles we have and how many flag poles we need. And hopefully by offering this Raise Our Flag program throughout, and the dates that we have posted, and to keep promoting it, we'll have enough funds to accomplish this.
For instance, we know that Camp Wacusta doesn't have a flagpole, so, and I don't think the Ann Arbor or the IPSI building has them yet. I don't think they're ready for them yet, but it would just be nice to have a pool of money that's available for when that is ready. The feedback we've gotten from the girls is really good, which is why it's the reason that I continue wanting to do this, because they don't teach flag etiquette in schools anymore.
And the feedback from the leaders too has been very well. Well, the program has been very well received overall. We didn't have anything in place before this, so now through Facebook and through other ways of evals and all that, we heard from volunteers that they want this program to go somewhere else than Kalamazoo. So we are this year going to IPSI on May 18th, and on May 31st we'll be at Wacusta doing this program as well. Renee also did this program in Saginaw. Yay, Renee. Her program, when she offered it in the Saginaw region, was also very successful, and Also, I know Lisa presented this program to a lot of outreach girls, and they also had the opportunity to learn flag etiquette. And I think that really comes down to the end of our presentation. You know, I can unmute everybody right now too, or you can type any questions that you have.
Or any suggestions you have on what we need to add, or tell us what you think.
For the next one, which is February 26th at 7 p.m.